Golf Channel's exclusive coverage of the LPGA Tour is presented by Prudential.
With July 4th around the corner, an American star is looking to make a declaration. A win today in Arkansas would make Lexi Thompson #1 in the world for the first time and give the red, white, and blue its first top-ranked women's player in nearly 4 years. Area Hatooka arrived here last year atop the rankings, and a strong showing this afternoon could send her back to the pinnacle of women's golf. At an event with a history of great champions, it would only be natural for this state to produce another #1. It's the final round of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Rogers, Arkansas, it's final round coverage of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by Kpmg. Wrapping up another great week here at Pinnacle Country Club in Rogers, Arkansas. It's the 12th playing of the Northwest Arkansas Championship. It is an impressive list of winners, including So-Yeon Yu, our defending champion. And the final round of this 3-day, 54-hole event leading into a major championship next week. And Nasa Hatooka, just 19 years old, is trying to spoil Lexi Thompson's and Area Hatooka's run to #1. 2 under par today. She began the day tied with Min-Ji Lee for the lead, but Lexi Thompson right there in 3rd place. Area Hatooka has coughed up a couple of shots today. She's fallen back into a tie for 19th place. Low scores, crazy low scores on day 1. 104 players broke par when the scoring average was 2 under. A little bit tougher in day 2 as the wind kicked up. We had some rain earlier today. It delayed tee times by an hour and a half. There's NB Park, tied for 35th place. Where she finishes today will impact what happens with Lexi and Area as they vie to become #1. Lexi for the first time, Area trying to reclaim it. Nasa Hatooka leading it by 3. Grant Boone joined by Judy Rankin and Tom Abbott. And on the course, Jerry Foltz and our birthday girl, Karen Stupples. We are at the 6th hole, and this is our leader, Nasa Hatooka, for birdie.
Lengthy par 3 today, 187 yards at the 6th. She turns that into an easy par.
That is going to be stress-free. Just turned 19 in January. We go to the 11th and say hello to Tom.
Downhill par 3 can be very tricky with the wind swirling, but today they've moved the tee to the front of the back tee, and they've put the hole on the front of the green.
It stays down like this, Lydia. It's a bit too much. Do you agree?
Yeah. But if it's like the last hole, it should be down, right?
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
70, I'm putting like 67?
Yep.
Down that golf cart?
Perfect.
Good par 3 from this back tee, even though it's not quite as long as it can play.
Caddy Johnny Scott.
Well done.
Thank you.
Might get a little bit better. There's a backstop there. And Lydia Cole still has a chance to win here. She's 5 shots back, beginning what could be a lucrative run on the golf course. So it's still wide open, although Hatooka has a 3-shot lead. Back on the 7th hole, it's a par 5. And Hatooka will be first to play here, Jerry.
And it's become a very reachable par 5 today. Tee moved up some 24 yards on the same tee box, but to the front of it, and now playing downwind. So that right fairway bunker is the target line, because it should be flyable for every player in this group.
Easiest hole on the golf course today.
This one headed right, just a little. Should be clear at the corner, though.
Let's go ahead one to the 8th.
And Austin Ernst is making a nice run. This to join the group at 11 under. Austin Ernst is 2 under on her round through 8 holes. As you see, 3 birdies and a bogey. She's now 4 behind Nasa Hatooka. There's Minjee Lee alone in second.
Both of our walking announcers are with the final group. Karen Stupples calling Minjee Lee.
Minjee Lee does have plenty of club here, but this one is missing right. It is a shot of about 275 yards to get past that corner tree that Jerry just mentioned.
And it's got into a little thick patch of grass on the right side, so a bit of a problem there for Minjee. Now, Lexi Thompson.
Target. Last tree. Good tempo.
Well, if Lexi's going to make a run at this, she has to take advantage of the par 5s, especially the reachable ones like this. She only gets the chance, he said, to hit 3 or 4 drivers per round on this golf course. But if she hits a good one here down the middle, it is just a layup birdie for Lexi and an outside chance at eagle.
A lot of 3-woods and hybrids for Lexi on this course.
Shot.
Best club in her bag, and that's a pretty good example of it right there.
It's going to fly on by the other 2, and she will have a good chance to knock it on the green and perhaps make the second eagle of the day at this hole. Maria Torres made an eagle here, and she's having a good week, tied for 27th.
Time for our Volunteers of America tournament summary, the 12th playing of the Northwest Arkansas Championship. Walmart and P&G, our sponsors. Friday night, past champion Stacy Lewis, the Arkansas Razorback, revealed that she and her husband, Garrett Chadwell, will be welcoming a baby girl. We knew they were pregnant. They revealed the gender on Friday night up there at the 18th hole. 13 under par, the lowest 36-hole scores in the careers of both Minjee Lee and Nasa Hatooka. And after 2 rounds of this 3-round event, 6 in the top 10 looking for a first win, including Nasa Hatooka. That is our Volunteers of America tournament summary. Well, trying to rein on Lexi's and Aria's parade to the #1 ranking is 19-year-old Nasa Hatooka. Judy, we have been watching her in these last 6-8 weeks become a very, very good player, haven't we?
Yeah, no doubt. This is a player in her second year on the LPGA Tour. She has just opened this tournament with her 2 best rounds ever in her LPGA career, 64, 65. Just backing up to 64, I think, was a big deal. She has not missed a cut since mid-March. And just very recently, she had a 4-week stretch where she was in the top 10 every one of those weeks and second one of those weeks. So clearly, whether you know the name or not, she's primed to win.
Named by her mother for the American Space Agency, NASA. She pronounces it NASA, and there's such a great, rich history of Japanese players on the LPGA Tour. We'll talk about that as we go along today. We're going to carry you all the way until we have a champion here today. A little extra coverage. Lexi Thompson. Last year, she was so close to being a runaway player of the year. Missed some short putts when she had a chance to win. Still won 2 times. Hasn't won since Indianapolis of last fall, but a chance today for Lexi to really get going at a very important time of this schedule.
Yeah, it's not been an ideal year for Lexi Thompson. While struggling, she's made $500,000. So
yeah.
Don't worry too much. She's very young. She's 23 years old. She's already racked up $7.7 million on the LPGA Tour, and she is the LPGA Tour's, I think, most explosive player. We have seen her go backwards, but the vast majority of the time we see her go forward. She hits tee shots like she just hit at 7, and you just never know when she's going to, play lights out. Clearly, she is a wonderful ball striker. If anything holds her back, putting is a little sketchy, not sketchy like it used to be, because now she has some very good putting days. On the 5th hole today, she had her first 3-putt of the week.
We say about both her and Ariya Jutanugarn that they can do things that others just flat out cannot do. There are a couple of scenarios by which Inbee Park could be passed for the #1 ranking. Let's take a look. Ariya Jutanugarn can reach #1 with a victory as long as Inbee finishes 4th or worse. At the moment, Inbee tied for 35th. But Ariya is struggling as well. Now, if Ariya were to make a big run on the back 9 and finish 2nd, and Inbee finished 19th or worse, then Ariya would go back to #1, as she was when she got to this event last year. Lexi needs help from both Inbee and Ariya, and Lexi has to win. Now, she's in the best position, better than Ariya, but she would need Inbee to finish 21st or worse. She would need Ariya to finish 3rd or worse. Those things tend to take care of themselves, don't they, if you do your job. And here's Inbee Park for birdie at the 14th. All right, so that moves her into a tie for 28th place. And I think, as we see Inbee Park, already a winner this year, Ariya's won twice. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the week. There isn't a dominant player right now on the LPGA Tour. There are a whole lot of very good ones, though.
Yeah, and you said it a few minutes ago. I think Ariya Jutanugarn and Lexi Thompson kind of stand at that top of players who you just stand back and watch. You stand back and watch how they play. They play very different games, but they both play the big game, the long game. Ariya Jutanugarn's driving average is 269 yards. She never hits a driver.
Amazing.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff we're getting to experience out here week after week. And then you go to the #1 player in the world, Inbee Park. She's come to a stage in her career where she can pick and choose where she plays.
And everywhere she plays, and whenever she plays well. But it is Nasa Hatooka at the moment leading it by 3 as we take you to 13.
Another player who's graced the top of the world ranking, Shen Feng, making a birdie there. That's back-to-back birdies. Good birdie today at 13, always a top hole. She hasn't won this year on the LPGA Tour. 3 third-place finishes for the Chinese legend. How about Lydia Cole? We saw that tee shot at the 11th. This one's going to be quick, moving left to right, delicate, but right on the money for Lydia Cole. And she moves to 11 under par, 4 shots back. But Nasa Hatooka has never won. So, she's going to be feeling some nerves on the back 9. There's no doubt about that. And really, it could come down to Hatooka playing bogey-free golf. And as we know from watching tournaments conclude, that isn't always the case for players trying to win for the first time. Birdie putt there for Ariya Jutanugarn. Quite surprised, really, with the way that she started the day. Look at that. Double bogey. Just waiting for the penultimate group to finish on the green. Céline Boutier. She talked yesterday about the fact that she's still learning what it's like to be on the LPGA Tour, still learning the ropes. Takes a while, doesn't it, Judy, to get comfortable out here?
I forget it all the time, but the young players and the players who are in their first year on the tour always remark about, or let me just say in their second year on the tour, how nice it is to have played a golf course before, to not come where every golf course is brand new to you, and a big part of the field is very experienced on that golf course. And it's something I really never gave a lot of thought to till players started remarking.
She had conditional status last year, but focused on the Symetra Tour, where she won twice, qualifying for the LPGA, where she's playing full-time for the first time. It does have a couple of wins on the Ladies European Tour. We talked about the big drive from Lexi Thompson that gives you an indication of how far past she is the Japanese player. But Hatooka is ready to play, and I understand, Jerry, that Kpmg is already laid up.
Yeah, she was in a spot of bother. Actually clipped a tree on her layup and didn't get much more than Lexi's drive out of her layup. NASA now 214 to the hole, only 191 to that front left edge. One of the few players to carry a 4-iron, and that's what she's grabbed. This is at the left center of the green. Very nicely struck.
Yeah, really good. Should have an eagle putt.
So she carried her 4-iron 191 yards. That's pretty snappy.
First one left of the green tower.
What's Lexi got?
176 front, 199 yards to the hole. Breeze still helping a little from the right on this slight dogleg right, though. And this, a 6-iron. Ball is slightly below her feet, but not really enough to be an issue with a 6-iron in your hands. It's a little right of the hole. It's a longer carry on that line.
Now ends up hole high. Lengthy putt.
Just pushed it out. I couldn't get the draw.
I think what she was just referring to is that ball just below my feet kept me from hitting the draw that I like.
No, this is good.
Minji's got a 7-iron. And in all fairness, even though, as Jerry was saying, she did hit the tree with her second shot, I don't think she could have got much more out of it, even if she played a shot that went underneath the trees, because it's very easy to run through too far on the left side with some trees that would guard it. So as it turned out, it was kind of a good bad break, and even though she's got a 7 in her hands, she's more than capable of hitting a good shot from here with this club.
Let's meet our final group in their own words.
Hi, my name is Nasa Hatooka. I'm from Ibaraki, Japan. My rookie year was 2017.
Hi, I'm Minji Lee. I'm from Australia, and in 2016 I had a hole-in-one on the par 4 16th at the Kia Classic.
Hi, I'm Lexi Thompson, and I won my first LPGA event when I was 16 years old.
Nasa Hatooka on the right, Lexi Thompson on the left, Minji Lee in the back. Could this be the coming out party for Nasa Hatooka, the 19-year-old looking for her first career victory? Eagle putt when we come back. Today's coverage is brought to you by Walmart. Save money, live better. CME Group, how the world advances. And by Win Grips, the best grips in golf.
Back on the 7th, Hatooka for an eagle.
Through a little valley, then slightly uphill. Should drop right about here. Never did turn much. Good putt, though.
One of the best runs of the day coming from Moria Jatanagarn. This is the 14th to get to 11 under. For a share of third, scoring's been a little bit tougher, beginning with the afternoon wave yesterday, Judy.
Yeah, well, today, of course, we're a little bit wet underfoot. There was overnight rain, and we do see wind that's making a difference today.
Lydia Cole has a nice round working. 4 under. Here she is at the 12th. Well, she had not won since the summer of 2016 until late April at the Meta Heel in San Francisco. Now she's continuing to play well. Tied for third last week in Grand Rapids. 7 again.
Lexi Thompson with a chance to close the gap by 1 shot.
This, in general, a little uphill, but not a lot of break. Somewhat slow. And Lexi, we talk about her putting so much because she always hits so many greens in regulation, and at times the putter doesn't cooperate, but she makes a lot of putts from this range throughout the course of a year. And it's not the length you're expecting to make ever. That's not a comfortable leave either.
Well, 5 shots back, got to be a bit more aggressive than that.
Tiger Woods welcomes the PGA Tour to our nation's capital, looking for a 3rd win at his own event. Ricky Fowler and others join Tiger at the TPC Potomac. It's the Quicken Loans National beginning Thursday at 3 o'clock on Golf Channel. 11.
Just a moment ago, Ryan O'Toole had 3 birdies in a row to close the front 9. Not always easy to get it running smoothly through the fringe, but she does. And that's another birdie for O'Toole. And she moves to 11 under par and 5 shots back. Minjee Lee. It's been a good birdie at the 7th.
It would be in a good escape after hitting in the trees, but this part of her game has been particularly good this week. Well, I think that was just a bit of the speed, caught that one out. Going back uphill.
Maria Jutanagan, one of those players that's come through the field today, started tied for 21st. Now she's tied 3rd. It's her tee shot at 15.
155 yards, and it is a big drop down to that green from a very elevated tee.
You can see they stuck the flag right in that little pocket at the back of the green. Lexi has more work to do than she expected this for birdie.
Probably 7 feet. She talks a lot about sticking to her routine, committing to it, and going from there and letting it happen. These are telling putts. Sometimes it's a little uphill and turning a little left. But it's only the 7th hole, and you feel already the way Nas is playing like this is a must-make.
You know, the idea of sticking to your routine lets all the extraneous stuff not get in.
That was a good putt, too.
3-putt par. And Lexi remains even for the final round, with a chance to become the world #1. She's never done it before. Never made it to the top of the Rolex rankings. Needs to win. A couple of other things need to go her way, which at the moment they look like they're going to do, but the winning part is the key. Anna Nordquist going along well in this final round. She is 4 under for the day. This to go to 5 under. Birdied this hole every round. Not an easy hole either.
Anna Nordquist, Lydia Cole were in contention last week in Grand Rapids. Here's Lydia to get a share of 2nd. That's at the 12th. Former #1 in the world. Over 100 weeks. Inby Park is 101 total weeks. Lydia trying to work her way back into the top 10 in the world rankings. Nasa Hatooka leading it by 4, a 2-putt birdie at the 7th. Well, let's show you where we are here in the natural state, Arkansas. The capital is Little Rock. You come about 200 miles to the northwest up through Fort Smith, and you get to this area. Bentonville, Rogers, Fayetteville, Springdale is a big part of this area as well. You zoom in on Pinnacle Country Club. It has been the host of the Northwest Arkansas Championship all 12 years. And let's look at our course setup, brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. Judy?
Well, one of the reasons the scores are pretty low is this is not a long golf course for the players. As you can see, they're under 6,400 yards. This course can stretch out to more than 6,800 yards, though, where some of the best members play their shots from.
You wouldn't mind seeing it stretched out a touch, wouldn't it?
I think it can get another 200 yards, and these players deal with it very, very well. But the zoysia grass makes the second shots on this golf course pretty appealing.
Our leader, Nasa Hatooka.
Looked like a good swing there, right center of the fairway.
Last year as a rookie, 148th in total driving. This year, 30th, combining accuracy and distance. Arya Jatanagarn can become #1. She needs putts like this to drop and a whole bunch more. But that's back-to-back birdies for Arya. And that smile before the shot, the bow afterwards. She's done a lot of smiling and bowing the last couple of years. No one's won more in the last 2 years than Arya Jatanagarn, and no one's won more this year. 2 wins. And now Lexi on the tee. Wasted, really, didn't she? A beautiful tee shot at 7.
Yes, she did. Minjee played after Nasa, hit a nice one at the fairway as well. Lexi with the driver again. Playing almost straight downwind this hole. Second shot plays a little uphill.
And a short shot in if she gets this in the fairway.
Swing.
That's straight up the left side of the fairway. Even had looked like a little baby fade to it.
3 great drivers of the ball in this final group. Perhaps that's not a coincidence. Nasa Hatooka, 19 years old, looking for a first career victory. She leads it by 4 as they play the 8th.
On behalf of Walmart and our more than 2 million associates around the globe, I want to thank you for watching the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by Kpmg. We are excited to give you a glimpse of a place that we call home, Northwest Arkansas. Not only is this the place where Sam Walton started our company over 50 years ago, but today it's a region with so much to offer. Of course, it's also home to Pinnacle Country Club, our wonderful host this week. Walmart is proud to sponsor this event because it empowers women and celebrates the incredible athletes of the LPGA Tour who make this week so exciting. Thank you to the over 800 volunteers, sponsors, and tournament staff who help make this event one of the best weeks of the year in Northwest Arkansas. Enjoy the action as you watch the very best women golfers compete right here in Walmart's backyard. Thank you.
It's been great to be back. We've been here every year. The Octagon team makes it happen. Thanks to them, thanks to Walmart and P&G for their support of women's golf. Minjee Lee, a winner already this year, needs to get going.
Just from a slight upslope, 128 to this front right hole location.
Asking for it to sit. That's for birdie. Began the day tied for the lead with Nasa Hatooka. She's now 4 back to 15.
Maria was a little aggressive with that first putt, but makes the par at 15. Remains 11 under, tied 4th. Great season for both Maria and Arya, number 1 and 2 in the race to the CME Globe. To the fairway at the 8th.
Our leader. Well, there is a lot of excitement, Jerry, about this young player from Japan. We have been watching her take that next step these last couple of months.
She was very impressive down the stretch in King Mill when we all thought that that might not be the case. Beautiful shot there.
Look at the pitch mark.
Bit of a bad break, to tell you the truth.
She's had 2 aces in the last month, and she nearly jarred this one from the fairway. I'd be smiling too. Take a look here, Judy. How close? Oh.
Well, even if it had just gone forward, it would only be 2 or 3 feet from the hole. So, you know, all in all, a really good shot. Not greatly rewarded.
Another beauty from Lexi Thompson.
Yeah, this one's 37 yards closer than Nasa. Only 90 yards to the hole, but a pretty severe uphill slope. Normally in a bent grass fairway, this would be a gouging divot, but this is always just awfully strong. Needs to spin a little, and it should.
Should be on its way back.
Here it comes.
Right in between the pitch marks. How about that?
It was an interesting divot, though. She went very deep because of the zoysia and how tightly it's woven. She couldn't quite get all the way through it.
She's going to need to go deep here in these next 10 holes if she wants to win for the first time this year. 13.
The tricky par 4. You can see the flag tucked today behind that bunker.
These lofted hybrids have always been a big part of her strength.
Well, aggressive play there from Lydia. If it just stays on the green, she's going to have a quick putt.
I think it's on the green still?
Yeah, it's okay, Lydia.
Oh, if it is, I'll take it.
Played a little easier this year than it has done in the past. Not too much.
Got a third shot at the 10th for Austin Ernst in that group at 11 under, tied for 4th. She had a chance to win at Kings Mill in that rain-shortened event in Virginia. Shouldn't have any trouble staying at 11 under. Back to the 8th. And Jerry, what is the conversation that's happening here?
Well, we've called for a rules official in this group because half of that ball mark is actually inside of what would be the cup. They're going to have to basically reconstruct the edge of the cup. You are allowed to do that as a player, but it's almost always when there's a rules official handy best to bring them in to do it.
Well, we had the ace from Perrine de la Cour on Friday at the 17th, which took a chunk out of the hole, and it took them, how long, Tom? A good 5-10 minutes to repair it?
Yeah, almost identical situation, really, to this one.
Except Perrine's was in the front of the hole. This one, at least from Nas's point of view, is in the back of the hole.
Yeah, Perrine's went in.
I have no idea how that ball didn't go in the hole.
I can't either. We saw it twice.
Depends where you stand on the green there, Judy.
Well, I'm just saying from the leader's point of view.
Pete Liss is on the scene to do some landscaping.
Yeah.
He's got all that high-tech equipment with him.
Yeah.
A tee.
It's usually the best way, isn't it, Jerry?
Yeah.
Speaking of rules officials, we should say congratulations to Dan and Tina Maselli, who were married this weekend. Dan is a rules official on the LPGA Tour. You may see him pop up from time to time.
The second rules official to get married this summer, right?
Good year for marriages in the rules officials' quarters.
Well, that's because they've been on TV so much these last couple of months with all the weather delays. Our streak snapped at 1, Judy, with no weather delays. One more look here. Wow. Already up 4. That could have been a 6-shot lead. And how far back does this go? You see it 15 feet or so? Judy, the great players from Japan, Chako Higuchi, talk more about them in a moment, but she won a major championship. I believe she took down a feisty Judy Rankin at that 77 LPGA.
I think I was second. That's how I remember it anyway. But Chako was a wonderful player and just as great a person. She made many friends out here, and a lot of us are in touch with Chako Higuchi to this day.
Minjee Lee, we're going to go first here. A chance for a much-needed birdie.
This is quite a tricky read, Grant. It's going to break a little bit left at first, and I think just hold on as it approaches the hole, almost wanting to break back to the right. She is really good with her speeds.
Well, that was a perfect read from you, Karen.
I wish I could have done it when I played.
Well, Karen's celebrating a birthday. Minjee won on her birthday about a month ago in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Happy birthday to you, Karen.
Very much. You were very kind to me earlier and brought me a lovely cake. So if I sound a bit fast talking, it's because I'm on a sugar high.
At the 12th, Anna Nordquist has moved into second place. Looks good. Looks really good.
Not going to get there.
Really disappointed, wasn't she? Had the lead going into Sunday at Grand Rapids. Did not play her best.
Yeah, last week she struggled on the final day, and she clearly was having, I don't know what to call it other than concentration issues. She kind of would lose the plot for a moment.
Here is Nasa Hatooka, she leads it by 4, as you see. And, it's way too early to start preparing your victory speech, but this would be for a 5-shot lead.
And it's very doable. It's uphill, gently the entire way, and I wouldn't have seen any break in it until I saw Minjee's putt from the other side of the hole move back to the right. So, if anything, right side of the hole.
Ooh.
Goes the other way from the other direction. Now that's fun.
That'll drive you nuts.
Missed the cut here last year. She missed a lot of cuts last year. Did not play well in her rookie year, but boy, did she play well in Japan when she went back home after the LPGA Tour season ended. Won a couple of times. She was 170th in the world rankings last August, and now she is number 30 with a bullet. Lexi Thompson. There may not be a more popular player in all of women's golf, one of the most popular players in golf, period. And she said yesterday, the fans make the game, honestly. Great to see the fan base we have here in Arkansas. Happy to be back. Great to see it, especially the little kids outside the ropes following us. It means the world to us. She was practically a little kid when she won for the first time.
It's true. I tell you, she oftentimes, I don't know if it's every week, but she oftentimes will autograph her shoes and find a young girl to give them to at the end of the day. And I want to tell you, we've seen a lot of faces light up.
She needs this one, Jerry.
Yes, she does. But she's got a great read on it from Minjee Lee's putt.
I don't know if she was walking that in or...
No, in her head she missed that putt, but she deserves a few like that because she hits a lot of good ones that don't drop.
She needs to see some putts go in, doesn't she?
Yeah, with Lexi right now and with the putter in her hand, I believe it is all about confidence, because when she's feeling it, she makes a really good stroke.
She moves into a tie for second.
Ninth hole, Lexi Thompson on the tee.
Laying back, as you would expect on this driving hole. Driver would take her probably straight through the fairway. That started up the right with plenty of draw.
Dogleg from right to left, played downhill and then uphill to the green. Let's go to 10.
Mariah Stackhouse played well a couple of weeks ago at another 54-hole event. Shop right. This is at the 10th. She's tied for 10th at the moment. And back we go to the 9th.
Hatooka's not going to go with the driver either.
No, it's just makes the fairway too small. She is seemingly unflappable right now, Tom.
It's been building, hasn't it? I mean, she's put herself in position to win the playoff. Kingsmill last year, as Grant mentioned, she won in Japan at the end of the season, so it has been brewing. Lydia Cole now for a birdie. Go to the 15th hole, Island Green par 3. Flag, as we've seen, right at the back, so Young Yu. Let's see how daring she can be. Oh, very daring. And a good chance for a birdie. Minjee Lee on the tee at 9.
And this is another fairway wood just to put this ball into a position. And it's one of those reasons why Judy was saying it's so scoreable. Players do not have to hit driver.
No, not a long golf course, 6,300 yards, par 71. It's in tremendous condition. Fairways are excellent, greens are really good. They got the sub-air system here as well, so we've had some heavy rain overnight and this morning, but the greens will be very dry. Maybe a little rain coming in over the next hour or so. Talk about that uphill shot at the 9th, Lexi's second.
94 yards is the actual to the hole. This is a gap wedge.
Got to watch the spin here, I would think, Jerry.
with the sand wedge, I think spin would have been much more of an issue. This shouldn't have much on it.
Needed a bit more. Now Hatooka.
Same yardage. Plays, I believe, 7 yards uphill, so 94 effectively 101, and that's plenty of club.
Doing exactly what she needs to do.
Yeah. Lydia Cole on the tee at the pretty much unreachable for anyone par 5 14th. Unreachable in 2.
Her golf swing's starting to look a lot to me like it did when we first met her when she was 15 years old.
At the 9th.
Minjee Lee second.
The hole is located just 4 steps over a false front, so players do have to err on the side of a smidge pass and hope for a spin back.
That is really well executed.
Minjee Lee, one of the best players yet to win a major championship. And here's a player who's won a couple.
So Yeon Yu for a birdie at the 15th. Gets So Yeon to 3 under for the day.
Well, we have the 3rd major championship of the LPGA Tour season on deck. It's the Kpmg Women's PGA Championship from the Chicagoland area, Kemper Lakes. Danielle Kang, the defending champion. Michelle Wee will be there Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time is when we will kick off our coverage. You remember Kemper Lakes, don't you?
Oh, I sure do. Did a PGA Championship there.
1989.
Austin Ernst for a birdie.
Little side note, she played at LSU, and for the Arkansas fans, she has managed to wear purple every day.
These are sworn enemies, Tigers and Razorbacks. It was a 2-way tie for the lead when this 3rd and final round began. Minjee Lee and Nasa Hatooka. They were both 13 under par. Minjee has struggled a bit. Nasa has not. She leads it now by 4. Lexi Thompson is a little up and down, but is 1 under for her round. Moria Jatanagarn has the best round of the day going on the course. Anna Nordquist has made a big move today. And Lydia Cole has as well. Jin Young Ko, a winner in Australia. She won at the end of last year in Asia as a non-member at the time. Then she took her LPGA Tour membership, and now she is a member and a winner again. So Yeon Yu won last week, continues to play well. Arya Jatanagarn, chance to become number 1. You never put anything past Arya, so she's got 9 holes to play. She's at the moment 6 shots back. Sherman Santa Wiwatanapong continues to play well. A couple of top 10 finishes in the last couple of months. Young player from Thailand. And there's NB. She could be overtaken for that top spot in the world rankings. And Stacy Lewis thrilling the Razorback fans as always. 9.
Lexi for birdie.
You know, very, very slippery putt for birdie. This should just be limping to the hole.
Got to be careful on some of these greens. The ball can get away from you. That'll keep Lexi at 12 under par, 4 back of Hatooka, who still has a putt to get to 17 under. Lowest winning score here, 18 under par, so it gives you an idea of how well she's played this year.
Interesting that Nasa does pretty much all the green reading on her own, even though she has a very, very experienced caddy in Dana DeRoe on the bag, a guy who has spent a great deal of time living in Japan as well. But she's very confident in her own abilities. And I, for one, like that.
I don't think there's any doubt that if you trust your own read, you're going to make a better stroke.
And if you get a conflicting read from a second opinion, be it your caddy in most cases, then it's so much tougher to have any conviction. And I cite this all the time. I'm not sure it's logical, but most sports psychologists say it's better to be convinced than be correct.
Get there, yes!
Another one.
She made us look good, Jerry.
Yeah, she did.
I'm convinced.
Tremendous outward 9 for NASA. Start of the day tied for the lead with Minjee Lee. And as you can see, they've had very differing fortunes on this final day. Minjee now 5 behind. 11th tee, Mariah Stackhouse. Some players have been caught out today by this whole location. We've seen a few balls in the water. A really good one from Stackhouse. Should be a tap-in birdie. And that will move her to 11 under par. A couple under for this final round. NASA just making sure all the numbers are correct. Now Minjee.
Yeah, those 2 bogeys on 3 and 4, Tom, kind of hurt Minjee. And when you see a player do that on a short putt, she's feeling the pressure to try and keep pace with NASA.
Yeah, she's failing to do so. As she said that the putting has been a bit of an issue at times this year. Obviously, it worked very well at the Medihill and when she won in Michigan. Now Lexi just cleaning up. No problem at all there. Lexi's got to go some on this back 9 if she is to win here and become the world #1. At the moment, it is looking very good for Nasa Hatooka, the 19-year-old second-year player on the LPGA Tour, trying to win for the first time here in Arkansas.
Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour welcome you back to Rogers, Arkansas, and the final round of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G. 90-minute rain delay earlier today, but we're going to take you all the way to a winner. Grant Boone, Judy Rankin, Tom Abbott, Karen Stupples, and Jerry Foltz following our leader now by 5, Nasa Hatooka.
Gentle dogleg right, easy to hit one through the fairway up the left into the fairway bunker. So a lot of players clubbing back here a little bit, even though it is a pretty generous fairway. And that's good position.
Began the day tied for the lead. Nasa did 4 under on her first 9 holes. We're at the par 5 14th and a third shot here for Lydia Cole, past champion at this event.
Hole 8 paces onto the green. The back of the green makes it a whole lot easier to get the ball close.
Back we go to the 10th, and also clubbing back, Lexi Thompson. She has to club back more than most.
Yeah, she does. That looks like hybrid.
Yep. Said she doesn't hit many drivers on this course. As we said, it is a little shorter than most.
Good. Started off the right, but drawing as is typical.
We talk about players posing. She never really poses in the classic sense, does she?
Well, because she tends to lose her balance in the through swing, which part of that little up on her toes and maybe airborne for a second is part of the power.
Minjee Lee began the day tied for the lead, now 5 back with 9 to play.
And even though a lot of these players are having to club back from the tee to get themselves in a position on the fairway, because they're longer, they're still going to be going into these greens with shorter clubs, so I still think they have an advantage over shorter players.
You may wonder if Nasa Hatooka could handle the pressure of a back 9 on a Sunday. Well, she certainly did about a month ago. Williamsburg, Virginia, with major champions all around her. This was for birdie at the 5th. It was a weather-shortened event from 72 to 54. That was a birdie at 5. And then kind of in an awkward spot at the par 5 15th, but this was not awkward at all as a result. And so she'd go to a playoff with major champions Arya Jatanagarn and NG Chun. And with those two on the green, what did the 19-year-old do? If she was nervous, it didn't show, Judy.
No, she seemed like a very experienced player that afternoon.
Now, Aria rolled in a putt for birdie to match her on that first playoff hole. Second playoff hole with Aria close. She really had to give it a chance to go in. That was also not the stroke of a player trying to cozy it up there, was it?
No, she believed that it was going to take 3 to stay in the game, and she was right.
4 top 10s you mentioned earlier. She's been in the top 26 of the last 7. A couple of holes in one at Kings Mill, and then last week at Grand Rapids. Won her a Kia Sorrento last week. Last year on the LPGA Tour as a rookie, felt very uncomfortable. She was here alone essentially. Her mother has been with her this year, and she has looked and played more comfortably.
You know, I forgot about the hole-in-one and winning the car. She is having quite a good run the last month and a half.
It's been a nice little run for Lydia Cole here as well, as Lydia she plays the 14th. Lydia with Hyoju Kim and Haru Nomura. Lydia's had a nice run. Remember the playoff at the U.S. Women's Open, it looked all the world. As we see a 5-shot lead with 9 to play, we should think back to Aria just a couple of weeks ago at the U.S. Women's Open, and Hyoju Kim came roaring from behind and actually was in position to win. It took some of the best shots we've ever seen from Aria just to stay in it and then eventually win it.
What was that final round she shot? It was low. I'll have that in 1 second.
This is for birdie. Now, she birdied the first playoff hole. Remember, this is the first year of the 2-hole aggregate playoff.
Yeah, 67 in that final round.
On Sunday at the U.S. Women's Open. Not just your average 67. Lexi at 10.
Yeah, all depends, like.
So that's 7 on the right, so that was 18 cover on like far right. And then just let that slope bring it back.
What does that one get there?
47.
No, it's going to get up. Is it 215?
Yeah, I mean, we got it.
So I'm drawing it in there.
Perfect then, for the 51.
I mean, just because I don't feel like it's hurting.
No. I mean, it's not helping much. Might help a little turn. Pick out, pick out your window.
Yeah, I'm just going to start on the left side of the tower.
Okay. So then, have you in there.
Total yardage is 114 yards. She has to start this right of the tower, as you just heard her tell Kevin she was going to do, right of the flag stick, because it's just such a shallow shelf from this angle. If she flies it past the hole, it would end up in the back bunker. Breeze blowing from the right.
Here it comes.
So nice when a plan comes together.
Perfect.
5 back with 9 to play. Does she have a run in her? At the 18th, NB Park. We came on the air talking about number 1. NB Park occupies that spot at the moment. Lexi Thompson and Aria Jatanagarn could overtake her. 8 under par is tied for 27th as we go back to the 10th, and our leader.
101 yards for NASA. Great angle here. That back left bunker. Only in play if she pulls it.
Down.
Which she has done. Oh, that is short-sighted and a brutal up and down.
She might have just stayed on the upslope, Jerry. You'll have to get a look at that.
She is one of the best on tour this year in sand saves. She will need a great one from that spot. 4th in sand saves. And she looks a little chagrined. Minjee Lee, the time is now.
Has just 92 yards, and of all the lies on this fairway, she's got the best possible one she could have in terms of the grass direction. It is slightly down grain, which means she'll be able to get a lot of spin on this shot. And she hasn't given it enough, and that's a poor effort.
You wonder if the missed short putt is creeping in.
She's just off today, all the way around.
Lydia Cole, par 5, 14th. This to get to 12 under.
Pretty quick.
I'd like to see a par 5 that's not a gimme birdie every now and then. It seems like everyone we see on the men's and women's tour is. At 14th certainly is not that. Here's NB Park finishing up, past champion here. It was a couple of years ago at the Kpmg Women's PGA Championship, where she's headed now, where she had enough events to qualify for the LPGA Hall of Fame. Nasa Hatooka leads it by 5. She's in a weird spot in the bunker at the 10th. We'll see how she can do when we come back. And just a moment ago at the 10th, Nasa Hatooka.
Side hill lie, short-sided, 5 feet would be a great shot. Oh, she got that to spin. That's incredible.
We set it 4th on tour in sand saves this year, and that is going to be a huge one. All right, so now the par putt, Karen, from Minjee Lee.
And this is pretty straightforward. Nothing much to this.
Just 26 putts per day the first 2 days average, but 15 putts on the front 9, including a short one for birdie at 9. But she does get up and down there as we go to the 9th.
This is the final hole for Michelle Wie. Not in a great position off the tee. Just a short shot up the hill. It needs to get further up the hill than that. And she making a bit of a mess of this final hole. You can see how steep that slope is. That ball's still going.
Lexi Thompson for birdie at 10.
Just a tiny, gentle little bit of break right at the end.
A 3-putt par at 7. A short missed one at 10.
And 3 putts at the 5th.
You go back to the 5th hole Judy mentioned. This was par. And it was this length that kept Lexi Thompson from becoming, who knows, 4, 5, maybe 6-time winner last year on the LPGA Tour. And that was a birdie attempt at 7. Now she's just missed one at the 10th for par. And it's Nasa, Jerry, who keeps answering.
I thought it was going to be a 2-shot swing on this hole. She's not going to go away. She proved that to us at Kingsmill, Grant.
Yeah, that's a great up and down.
8 pars for Nasa. I mean, who could get to 17 at this point? You don't know if anyone could.
Lydia Cole on the tee at the 15th. Able to throw it all the way back there.
You know, I don't know how you replicate it, but there's a couple players in the field, Lydia being one and Arya Jutanagarn being one, that just play such a peaceful kind of golf.
Anna Nordquist, 3rd shot at the par 5, 14th, up the hill, and a beauty.
2 good ones right there.
That'll be for Nordquist, who bogeyed 12. Chance, or 13 rather, chance to get back to 12 under.
Now, what's Michelle Wie going to do here? She's going to throw this one probably all the way to the hole.
Tom, she spent a great deal of time calculating that second shot. And yet, what really mattered about the second shot was she was in a very awkward spot. It was all about, execution. So, I think sometimes the technicalities of how you see a shot make you miss the real point.
Michelle Wie 1 over for this final round. She's back in a tie for 63rd. She'll be heading to Chicago for the Kpmg Women's PGA next week. Back at the 11th with Hatooka.
Little breeze from the right. This is 7-iron playing downhill. Just a brutal green if you don't get it on the proper level. This a little left of the hole, but looks like the right club.
Oh, safe shot. Sensible play. Michelle Wie to finish with a par. Not a great day. We've seen some positives with the way that she's been swinging the club this week, Judy, which we commented on yesterday.
I really saw some positives this week. I hope we continue to see it that way.
Now Lexi.
Lexi also with 7-iron based on Nassa's shot.
I don't need that.
Huh?
I don't need that one.
Okay. All right. You good with it, all right?
Yeah, I'm just going to 3/4 right, the left side.
Perfect. Perfect.
No, I'm glad she confirmed it. I was assuming she had to take quite a bit off this. She said, I'm just going to 3/4 it.
And she also didn't want to talk about it anymore.
That's a good line, but it's a bullet.
That could come back. Could be really good. Got it right. And so that should move Lexi to 13 under par. Now, Minjee.
Also using a 7-iron, and really with this wind helping the downhill, it's a shot of about 65 yards. And you can, as we have seen with Lexi, use that backstop behind the hole, and there is a bank left as well. Not if you take the direct route though, Tom.
Yeah. Had a little look at going in. Minjee needs something to turn her day around. Lydia Cole for a birdie. Couple of majors to her credit. Came very close to winning the Kpmg at Sahali. Lost in a playoff to Brooke Henderson a few years ago.
At the 14th, we saw that fine approach from Anna Nordquist. This to get back to 12 under. Well, as disappointed as she may have been leaving Grand Rapids, she's got to have a lot of confidence going into next week, regardless of how it shakes out this week.
Yeah, and that's important going into a major championship, because you'd like to spend your time learning the golf course.
Moria Jatanagarn would be a favorite of many next week at Kemper Lakes, where Payne Stewart won his first major championship. The late great. Her friend Kiradek Apabandrat was here, cheering her on, cheering on Area, number 29 in the world rankings. Promised that he would come watch her play if she won an event. They were with him at the Masters, and she won a couple of weeks later in LA as we go to the 9th.
Be quite something to win a tournament having started on the wrong side of the course, wouldn't it? Heiji Kang's given it a pretty good go today. She started on the 10th. She's 8 under par for the round. Currently tied for second, but 5 shots back. So a win would be unlikely. You'd need some help from Nasa.
But there is nothing in her season that would tell you she was getting ready to play this well. Maybe this is one of those turnaround days, a turnaround week then, that can turn the whole season around. Best finish of the year, tied for 19th.
She's never won on the LPGA Tour. She's been out here for 10 years.
Uphill putt. Got to get it to the hole. Oh, what a good putt.
Still, fabulous day for Heiji Kang, and she's going to go into a major championship with a bit of confidence. 63 in the final round for Heiji Kang. At the 15th, Anna Nordquist. The wind can swirl around on these par 3s in the back 9. Suddenly 11 and 15.
And it's kind of a little neck you can see there in the back of the green. And if you're going to get the ball very close to the hole, there's not a lot of room.
Hatooka has this for birdie at 11.
It's a tricky putt, but who's going to counter out? Swings right, and it's going downhill early, then it levels out speed-wise while continuing to break right. where she stands, the ball is significantly below her feet, giving her the feeling that it's going to just fall off the side of a cliff. So this is one of those rare occasions where you have to trust your eyes more than your feet.
Impressive that she could turn things around so much last year, having had such a miserable season on the LPGA, then go to Japan and turn her game around, and then come to America, where she sort of had some bad memories from the way that she'd played, and seemingly be a different player. Good try there. She says her ball striking is a lot better.
I can imagine, I think of myself, I think of a lot of my friends, a lot of the players that I know on this tour, can imagine going somewhere and pretty much being there for a season where I don't speak the language. That has to be quite difficult.
Yeah, just think about ordering food, checking into a hotel, all the things that you do when you're on the road, getting your laundry done. Now, Minjee.
And I know we're talking about Minjee, but if I could just add to the NASA story. When she came out of LPGA Q school, it was at a time when the sweetheart of Japanese golf, Ai Miyazato, was just retiring. And I think that she took on the burden of being that next Ai Miyazato, that next player. And I think the pressure was quite extreme on her. And we've seen this year that Sakura Yokomine, another player from Japan, has started to play quite well. And I think the pair of them, it's kind of eased the pressure from the Japanese media and the people at home, that they are both able to play so well just recently.
It's a good point, Karen, and if you're someone who doesn't know about it, let me just tell you, the golf media in Japan is large and very active.
Well, we have a full-time camera out here following NASA every shot, every day of the week, pretty much every week, from Japan, the Golf Channel affiliate from Japan. The people who help us out with our coverage there. Birdie for Lexi, not much problem with it.
Couple under for the day. 4 behind. Still a chance.
PGA Tour Champions is in Madison, Wisconsin for the American Family Insurance Championship. It was scheduled to come on at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. We will get you out there when we are done here in Rogers, Arkansas. While Papa and the Hall of Fame member Lanny Watkins leading our coverage. So that comes your way next when we are done. Interesting little stretch of the golf course here, 12 and 13. Some awkward angles and require some precision. Lexi Thompson and Minjee Lee off of the much-needed birdies. It'll be Lexi, then Minjee, and then our leader, Nasa Hatooka. Jerry and Judy, if Lexi were to find a way to win today, what would a win do for her? Could this be that first olive out of the jar here, then all of a sudden it's followed by 2 or 3 others?
I think everybody thinks that's right, and
good.
The fact is, she's won 9 times. She's got a major championship on her resume. She's probably the most popular player overall on this entire tour, and yet most would tell you she's underachieved.
We talk so often about the ones that have gotten away with Lexi, and we sometimes lose sight of the amazing things she has accomplished. The one thing that is for certain, it's a surprise when she's not in contention, because her tee to green game is so consistent. And if they had a strokes gain category, tee to green on the LPGA Tour like they do on the PGA Tour, no one would come close to her.
Another beauty there.
Well, I want to play from where she drives it.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Another great driver, Karen, Minjee Lee.
She is, and she's does it slightly differently. Most players will want to trigger, have their right index finger triggering down the shaft a little bit. Hers is very square, very together with the rest of her fingers, and consequently she's able to open that club up quite quickly, and sometimes, as is the case here, open it up too much and misses right.
Yeah, there is hazard to the right, but I don't think it's right there in that area.
She missed it right at the 7th and missed a chance to go for that green in 2, the par 5. To the 9th.
Stacy Lewis second.
Mom to be, and for sure one of the real movers and shakers of this tournament.
And our leader, Nasa Hatooka, now leading it by 4.
Pretty smart play here as well. Clubbing back. Fairway really narrows up if you take driver out for someone of her length. Only averages 12 yards behind Lexi Thompson for the year, and this is nice little draw. Very similar line to Lexi's.
Hasn't missed a fairway today. Still hasn't. 9 for 9. She's only missed 5 greens all week. In perfect position, leading it by 4. Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours away from victory number 1 on the LPGA Tour. Final round of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Our final group, Nasa Hatooka leads it by 4. Karen Stupples watching Minji Lee, and we're looking from behind. Karen, this doesn't look like the place you want to be off the tee.
No, it really isn't. She's blocked out by some trees, but if she keeps it low enough under them, she can get the ball to chase up. But these Zoysia fairways are so difficult to judge how the ball's going to release on. It's not really the play, ideally, that you'd like. The trees are probably about 10 feet high in front of her. That's how much she's got to keep it low. But if she plays a bit further left with a little bit of fade, she has a little bit more height to work with. That being said, the ball is above her feet and very difficult to hit a fade from that position.
There's water
that was
right.
So low. And chasing.
Okay, that's not going to be easy, but somehow she's going to have a green in regulation. She may not want it. To the 15th.
And a Nordquist for a birdie. Oh, that looked good for a long time, didn't it? 5 under for the day, though. Playing well in this rain-delayed final round.
Lexi Thompson off the birdie at the 11th. In good position here.
There's nothing here. I mean, the tops of the trees are moving a little bit, but it's not a lot. I mean, I'm happy if you want to hit a good solid wedge.
Well, I mean, I'm comfortable with either. I just don't want to hit this and then have it go wrong.
Okay, hit the wedge then.
I don't. Like, I need this to win.
That's perfect. A good solid one of those.
Like, I'm like in control of these.
Yeah.
The ball's very far right now.
That's fine. I like that. Let's get your target.
Good positive encouragement, Jerry.
Yeah, for the most part. Just providing the advice that he knows, and that is, if the wind is into him, like it should be, but you can't feel it, but it should be, wedge might not be enough to get it all the way to the flagstick. 135 to the hole. She went after it, pulled it left edge of the green.
That's a high side, but it's stuck right there.
Lengthy putts for the chasers, Minji Lee and Lexi Thompson. Let's get you ahead to the 16th and Lydia Cole. Tied for 8th place at 11 under. Judy, she would have to be one of the favorites next week, wouldn't she? As well as she's played the last couple of months?
Yeah, I think her game has come together, and you like her when a course is tough.
Nasa, our leader.
Just a smooth wedge from 114 yards left of the hole.
Okay, no problem.
With proven winners on either side of her, Lexi and Minji Lee, it's Nasa Hatooka who continues to hit the shot she needs to hit. She leads it by 4 as we go to the 9th.
Stacy Lewis to finish off the week with a birdie. Is it going to come back? Enough, yes. She won the first Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship back in 2007. They had horrendous weather that year. It was reduced to 18 holes. An unofficial win. She was still in college at the time, an amateur. And then she won again in 2014, professional here. Stackhouse for a birdie at the 13th. Good birdie if this goes in. Well done. 2 career top 10s on the LPGA Tour for Mariah Stackhouse. She's currently tied for 4th, looking for a career best finish.
Lydia Cole at the 16th for birdie to get to 12 under. Well, those were automatic for a couple of years, weren't they? Former #1 in the world. Sandra Gaul of Germany has had a nice couple of weeks, hasn't she? Some work with Cameron McCormick is paying off. Nice finish last week at Grand Rapids.
She just feels so much more positive, and she feels as though she is absolutely on the right track. And, you know, she's kind of a happy spirit anyway, she is really happy with the way things are playing out right now.
I would be too. 4 under in my last 4. That's what Sandra Gaul is. Here's Lexi Thompson at 12 for birdie.
This one that's pretty flat speed-wise, just moving right the entire way, not a ton. Minjee Lee has already lagged up to about 4 or 5 feet.
Nasa will have a putt for birdie in a moment. We'll remark. To the 15th.
Sandra Gaul's made her way to the par 3.
Right on line, comfortable with what she's doing. She wasted no time at all.
She's going to be very confident heading into next week, heading into this busy summer stretch. Wouldn't be surprised if she were able to get that 2nd win.
Nasa leading it by 4. She did not have a good year last year as a rookie, as Karen and Jerry and Judy have pointed out. 8 of 19 cuts made. But Jerry, the one thing she did do well last year was putt, and she continues to putt well this year.
She doesn't look like she has any doubts in her head when she's putting, and that's so huge.
You got your Sunday best on here in Rogers, Arkansas. Some youngsters following this marquee group. In our final grouping, you've got all 3 of these players having accomplished something significant in the game of professional golf as teenagers. Lexi, 16 when she won for the first time. Minjee Lee was a teenager when she won for the first time. Now, Nasa at the age of 19, just turned 19 in January.
I think we're going to be covering her for a great many years. Got a little bit of read off Lexi's putt. That bounced a little right off the putter.
Bounced in. 5-shot lead. Tied for the lead when the day started. Not anymore. Bogey free, 5 under, 5 birdies.
That might have been the one that broke a lot of hearts and might have put some people saying that they're going to try to be second.
Now it's rarely easy. You see, she's 18 under. So-Yeon Yu, as Tom mentioned earlier, tournament record last year, 18 under here. 3-day event. You're going 18 under. It's amazing.
You know, you've got receptive greens.
Yeah.
You have a golf course in near perfect condition. And other than a few breezes that have kicked up here and there, players have not played in any serious wind.
Minjee Lee for par.
And as we were saying, you know, thinking about players playing for seconds, all these players are now trying to think about next week, the Kpmg Women's PGA, the next major on their schedule, and all in all, for Minjee Lee there, that was a tremendous 2-putt.
I'll say, par on 12 is always coveted, and from where she hit it, even more so. Off the tee and with her 2nd shot.
You know, this short par 4 has, from time to time, played as the hardest hole on the course.
Now another tickler here for Lexi Thompson. She did move the coin back, right, Jerry?
Yes, well, there was a bit confusing on the screen. Moved it once and had to move it again. Has moved it back the 2 putter head lengths to what is supposed to be the exact same spot. It is not a problem at all. Very common in the game. This one, though, might have her attention just because it's that uncomfortable left to right breaker.
You know, Jerry, I think if I were in her camp, I would tell her, when a putt makes you a little bit nervous, don't take any extra time. Step up, give it your best alignment, and putt. That would help her to get rid of the nerves.
She'll take it. 2-putt. But Nasa with a birdie makes it a 5-shot lead. Are you ready to play with Rory at Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland? Go to golfnow.com/Rory and enter for your chance to win the Tee It Up with Rory sweepstakes. We're going to tee it up with this little fella. Watch this. Oh, my word. Flushed it.
Well, when you can hit it high at that age, you really got something going on.
I'm telling you. Look at this. Oh, he can play a little baseball at it. Yeah, he's 2 sports star. A tree-lined neighborhood golf course here, and what a facility, Pinnacle.
And if you come to an LPGA event, all these kids get in for free with an adult. So bring the kids out. We had a really tightly packed leaderboard when the day started. Not so much anymore. Nasa Hatooka has lifted off. 5-shot lead. And as they make their way to the 13th. Judy, how about this last group and their swings? Yeah, well, I just found it kind of interesting, this threesome and where they are at the top of their backswings. Nasa, as you see on the far left, she's just below parallel, but she also has kind of a big squat in her backswing, and she doesn't have nearly the shoulder turn. Let's go all the way over to Lexi Thompson, who now drops the club way below parallel, and the shoulder turn there is the thing to watch. Just amazing. And then Minjee Lee, the club is always absolutely parallel. It's just it's a perfect picture of what some would say are perfect mechanics in the golf swing. All 3 of those players have perfect right knees, though, at the top of their backswing. Nobody comes even close to straightening up or locking their right knee. Everybody has that flex that they started with. They hold it all the way through the backswing.
Nice.
Little shower moving through as they reach the 13th tee.
Nasa's coach had her, I guess, a few months ago, Grant, I believe, work on standing up a little taller in her posture, not getting too crouched over the golf ball. And I really think that's when the ball striking caught a little fire.
Dana Duro says to her, stand tall before most shots.
Clubbing back on this fairway that narrows quite a bit. This one is signaled to be heading a little right. It is.
Careful. Well done, Jerry.
Thank you.
In the hazard. She may have wished that it had hit you, Jerry, because it's gone into the hazard. Well, the first sign that it could be a long finish here.
Not sure it would have happened without the cart path, but
yeah,
you knew it was there.
Now Lexi needs a good one, needs to keep putting the pressure on.
Yeah, they have no way of knowing back at the tee that that ball is indeed in the hazard. They wouldn't expect that it got that far. Let's see with hybrid as well. Rain definitely starting to pick up now.
Straight or just left center is perfect here.
Yeah, no anxiety in that whatsoever.
Nasa, if you look at her stats, she was 150th in fairways hit during her rookie year. This year she's 95th, so it's not a strength of her game.
At the 14th, as you can see the rain pitter-pattering in the pond at 14, Austin Ernst to get into second. Now, she played well at Kingsmill, had a great chance to win there, where Nasa got into the playoff with the winner, Arya Jatanagarn, and the other runner-up, In-Ji Chun. There she is, tied for second place.
You know how players once in a while say, I'm close? I think Austin Ernst is close.
Now, Minjee.
And as Jerry's already said, this fairway pinching in. Minjee also laying back. And this one is very safe.
Yeah. Problems for the leader. Ball is in the little creek on the right side, and Jerry Foltz is quick on his feet. Look how quickly he moved here. Look at that. Yeah. Could have hit him in a place that would really hurt if you saw where the ball was. Not good news for Nasa Hatooka in the hazard. Back on the 15th, Sandra Gaul to break out of that tie for second. Put herself 4 shots back of the lead. Minjee Lee, good position off the tee. This is second at 13.
Has left her a decent distance though. It's 177 to the hole. It's a good lie. She's using a 6-iron, but really you've got to land this 5 short. And the line is to the right of the hole, almost at the TV tower. It's just right of it and safe play.
Yeah, long putt coming up. Lexi next to play gives you an idea of how much run NASA got on that tee shot.
Fine, yeah. 50 is fine.
I mean, the other one can't get there.
No, 50 is fine. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Controlled one, where we take it?
Just gonna go right side of the tent.
Right side of the white tent. Controlled.
Trying to turn over a gentle 8-iron from 156 yards. Slide uphill lie.
Hole location should suit her.
She did exactly that, what she was trying. Good line, just right of the hole.
Yeah.
Shot.
Good chance for a birdie. Maybe a 2-shot swing. Hatooka just taking the drop.
It's a good drop, too. That's a really good lie. Some of us used to practice that, Tom.
Yes, it's a skill that is sometimes overlooked. Look at that, it's sitting up really well.
First missed fairway for NASA today, and she pays a pretty heavy price.
5-2.
It's going to be a bit easier to drop the ball once the rules change. You'll be dropping it from about knee height.
Got 148 yards remaining for this. Her now 3rd shot. This 2 and 8-iron. Her caddy Dana DeRoe told me in the last fairway, he goes, she's hitting the ball further, 1 club further than he's ever seen her. So there might be a little adrenaline going as well. Another quality shot.
Yeah, looked good starting out.
Wow. That'll be some par. Problems off the tee for Hatooka, but she may be able to scramble a 4. Lexi Thompson has a good putt for a birdie, trying to close that gap.
The winner here a couple of years ago, Lydia Cole, 2nd shot at the par 5 18th.
It's just a slight downhill lie, played to an elevated green.
Bunker over there. Did that go in it and then out?
I don't know where it landed the first time, but
It's under a chair now.
she'll get a little relief over there from the grandstand, and we'll see where the drop is.
That will test her short game prowess as we go to 17.
And Nordquist with a putt to get to 6 under for the day. And into a tie for 2nd. Looks pretty good. Good pace. Coming off that 4th place last week. I mentioned she struggled on the final day. This was a moment ago at the 13th. Minjee Lee for birdie.
And there is a slight slope off the bunker that influenced this putter to make it stay out that side.
Now Lexi Thompson for an important birdie putt.
A little bit downhill. Looks like a little bit of a tricky read to me. She studied it at great length with Kevin McAlpine. I think it actually falls to the right, which is basically off the side of the green. She saw the same thing, and it actually moved left. Yeah, that was a tough read.
Austin Ernst for a birdie. She's trying to break out of that tie for second. Oh, so close. She'll remain at 13 under, 4 under for the day. Set to move from 39th to 23rd in the race to the CME Globe. So that would be a nice result for Austin. 3 holes to play in her round as we go back to the 13th, and this would be a really, really impressive par, and it would keep that streak going. 34 holes without a bogey.
A lot of work to do so, but she is putting it so nicely. But in a kind of a change of routine, she brought in Dana DeRoe to actually read this after seeing Lexi get so confused on her birdie effort. I haven't seen her do that all day.
Really impressive for just when there was a chance for her to have a wobble, maybe not execute that approach shot. That could have led to a double bogey, but she knocks it on the green, makes a 4, and that chap nodding there, he knows his golf, doesn't he? He knows how good that 4 was. Let's go to the 16th.
And you can see what Sandra Gaul has in front of her, most notably a tree. Ooh, this looks promising.
Sit. Sit.
Yeah, that really abbreviated through swing, trying to hold that face and hit that cut, and what a good shot.
She looks like someone playing with an abundance of confidence.
Something about when you understand and get happy about what you're doing.
Kpmg makes the par. Even for this final day, which is just not going to get it done with the way the scoring is here. Every player inside the top 14 on the leaderboard is under par for the round, except for Minjee Lee. Now Lexi Thompson for par. Five holes to play. Lexi needs to dig deep. Ryan O'Toole for a birdie at the 17th. This would be for her third 2 of the round. Tied for 6th at 12 under.
Time for our UL Innovative Shots of the Day. Nasa Hatooka at the par 3 third. Missed the green with a tee shot, didn't miss the cup with her second. And then Ryan O'Toole, Tom mentioned all the 2s. Just perfectly judged. And Ryan O'Toole, 5 under on around. Those are our UL Innovative Shots of the Day. 15.
Stackhouse on the tee.
I think she's just finally gotten to play enough events in a row and all those things to start getting comfortable with playing professional golf. Kind of the spot a lot of players are choosing today. It's a little tough to get it all the way back there.
Final group on the tee at the par 5 14th. Nasa Hatooka leading by 5.
3-shot hole for just about everybody in the field, and when you lay back off the tee, it's a generous size fairway.
536 yards, moved up a little bit from day one. Got Lexi, who's the biggest hitter. Perhaps, maybe Arya Jatanagar would have something to say about that, but one of the biggest hitters in golf, 5 back, but she's laying back.
Yes, she is. She is probably the only player in the field, except for maybe Arya, who would have a chance to get here in 2, but she just doesn't like how this hole feels as a 2-shot hole. This one heading a little right, might need to sit. Like that?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, this hole is kind of all about the second shot. Do you want to lay it up as far as you can lay it up, or do you want to lay it up for a particular yardage? I've always been a fan of the particular yardage, the yardage where you really have confidence in one of your wedges.
Minjee Lee, Karen?
And as you come down this hole, we talk about the design, every single one of these shots is awkward. It's an awkward tee shot, even though it is a generous fairway, just because of the angle. And then the layup's awkward, you have to get your lines right and it gets narrow. And then the shot is to the uphill green, also tough.
All right, after taking a drop, Lydia Cole, 3rd shot, par 5, 18th. Got the sprinkler heads between her and the hole.
You don't think this is a little quick, do you, Grant?
I'm just saying, there's no one you'd rather have doing it if you needed to get it up and down than her.
How gentle was that?
The acceleration required a perfect strike, didn't it? She'll have that for birdie. At the 16th, after carving that second shot beautifully under and around the tree, Sandra Gaul to get to 14 under. Ahead to, or back one to the 15th.
You talk about the development of a player, Judy. Last year in her rookie year, she made just 7 of 15 cuts. But prior to that, of course, she was a very impressive amateur, played her collegiate golf at Stanford. Part of that NCAA championship winning team in 2015. She shot 61 in a tournament as a freshman. Played in the Curtis Cup. So she's excelled at every level. It's just taken her a little bit of time to find her feet on the LPGA, and as you say, beginning to show a level of comfort out here that could put her in the winner's circle.
Yeah, it's very hard. There are players, Mariah's not one of those at the moment, but there are players who have what we call conditional status. And sometimes they don't play for 3 weeks or 4 weeks because they don't get in. And that it's really a hard way to get your feet wet and to have any consistency.
It's going to mark a couple of really good weeks for Stackhouse. Finished tied for 7th just a few weeks ago.
Well, Lexi Thompson trying to become the 3rd American to reach #1 in the world. Christy Kerr was the first. Stacy Lewis followed. We've all been Solheim Cup teammates. And Christy with back-to-back birdies and 4 birdies on the inward 9. Multiple major champion and always a threat at the biggest events. Next week, the Kpmg Women's PGA Championship, major championship caliber field here. The top 9 in the world. Nasa Hatooka's number 30. Not even a year ago, she was outside the top 150, but boy, is she on some kind of a run. Leads it by 5. Lydia Cole, another good week. Same for Arya Jatanagar. Never really happened for Arya Jatanagar today. Couple of 66s this week for Stacy Lewis. And Inbee Park, the current #1, looks like she may stay there. Going into the 3rd major championship of the season next week. The leaders are playing the par 5 14th. Nasa Hatooka looking for a first career victory. From an awkward spot to here at the 18th. Now Lydia Cole for birdie. Wow. 66 today for Lydia. At the moment tied for 6th. Past champion, and she's beloved everywhere.
Just a quick note, she most often today was conventional with her grip on the putter. That little one, left hand low.
Our leader by 5, laying up at 14.
Both fellow competitors already have laid up in the fairway. This one is heading a little right, though, but there is some fairway there.
Let's see who's up to the challenge presented by Prudential. You get one guess. Nasa Hatooka. This is at the 5th for birdie. Began the day tied for the lead. She would be 2 under at that point. Then at the 9th with Minjee Lee close for birdie. She went first and rolled it in. He would miss. Nasa a front 9, 4 under par 32. Then at the 12th, with her fellow competitor scrambling for par, Nasa rolls it in. And then at 13, with a big lead, she does this off the tee. Pay special attention to the footwork of Jerry Fultz, getting out of the way. And a water landing for Nasa. And yet, after taking the drop on this par 4, this was her 3rd. You loved the tempo here.
Yeah, this was just such a solid shot. I love the sound. You could tell the ball started just to the right of the hole and drew toward it. Gives herself a great chance.
And again, Lexi Thompson had a putt for birdie that she missed. Thought we might have a 2-shot swing instead. Nasa Hatooka has answered at every turn, and she has indeed been up to the challenge presented by Prudential. To 17.
Sandra Gaul on the tee, which is usually a very boisterous hole. Looked like she just tugged it a bit there. No trouble though.
3rd shots at the par 5, 14th coming up for our final group. Who's first here? Jerry and Karen?
Yeah, it's a tie yardage-wise between Lexi and Nasa, but by the angle, to the players it might appear as though Lexi's away. They have made no indication across the fairway to each other.
Times, yeah. Today?
11 and 15.
10, 1, 11, 1, 15. But it's landed what? 20?
Yeah, by 20.
Landed 20? Okay.
And then it's down.
Yeah, but was it? It was more across.
But I wasn't hitting up to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's perfect.
Doesn't matter. I'll go. I didn't know. I'll go.
Right now, perfect. Okay.
Now they know.
You don't have to jump all over it. Correct. Exactly.
This is ideal right here for Lexi. Front hole location with a wedge in her hand, 111 yards, gap wedge, perfectly flat lie. Throw this a few yards behind it and watch it just zip back a little bit. Anything outside 10 feet here wouldn't be below her expectations.
Here it comes.
Oh, too much.
Careful. Should stay, yeah.
Well, it's sure makeable from there, even though it's not on the putting surface.
She needs them all to go in at this point. And now Nasa Hatooka.
Same yardage of 111, a little bit of a downhill side hill lie, but nothing too significant. Nasa, however, going with a little pitching wedge, should land with a lot less spin.
Stop. Get down. Get down. Come on, Brad.
Leading by 5, that's a good shot.
It's all right. It's all good. No problem, but that's all we get.
4 wins now for Minjee Lee, just turned 22 last month. She said, so far so good. I mean, life is always good when you're on the LPGA. Well, when you can play and swing like Minjee Lee, Karen and Judy, I guess it is a good life.
Yeah, that helps to make it good, doesn't it, Karen?
It really does. And when you think about what she achieved as an amateur, and in many people's eyes, she was going to be the better player than Lydia Cole, but I believe a broken bone sidelined her for a little bit and held her back, but she's definitely showing signs of being quite a dominant player out here.
Yeah, when she turned professional, she was the #1 amateur in the world.
Birdie putts coming up for our final group in a moment. First to 17.
Trying to break out of that tie for second. Sandra Gaul. Well, the 18th is an eagle opportunity. That back hole location always makes it fun on that final hole of the final day. So a chance to maybe pick up some places there at the 18th. Let's go to 16.
Austin Ernst is 4 under today. Make it 5 under for the day. 14 under overall. And she is now alone in second place. 1 win to her credit. That was 2014. Solheim Cup player. And her best golf ahead, most think. 17.
Christy Kerr for birdie. Christy still plugging away on the LPGA Tour and part of that UL Crown team. Very busy at the moment. Obviously has her family, son Mason, her golf, and her wine business, and I think she's becoming more and more involved in that. Tough to juggle all of these hats and these roles that she has.
Her husband Eric's with her quite a lot now, and I think they're sort of in this entrepreneurship together.
Yeah, and I think he tries to make it so that she can focus on her golf, but knowing Christy the way she is, she wants to have a hand in everything and make sure everything's running smoothly.
You think she's a little bit
She likes
manager?
to be in control.
Yeah, a little.
She likes to
Yeah,
be in control.
Yeah.
4 under par today.
That's a quality we admire in men sometimes, and maybe not always as much as we should. Women. Christy Kerr is quite the accomplished player and businesswoman. We're looking down on the 14th here, Jerry and Karen. We've got birdie putts, and who's first?
Good question.
We didn't know who was going to hit third first.
Yeah. I thought it was Lexi away first, but they're not making any indication of going.
El Nasa Hatooka. Judy, we talked about Chako Higuchi. 1977 won the LPGA Championship. The only player from Japan to win. She grew up idolizing Ai Miyazato, who, as Karen mentioned, retired last year, and perhaps all of the focus shifting toward Nasa. That was a lot of pressure, but she didn't show any nerves when she won twice last year in her homeland. And Jerry, I think you pointed this out earlier this season. We talk about winning on the LPGA Tour as being pressure-packed. How about trying to win twice in your homeland, as she did last fall?
Yeah, and big wins at that. That was, I think, the reason that she came out this year with all the self-confidence in the world, and that's something you cannot teach. I can tell you, I just had a brief exchange with her mother, who is here in the gallery, Hiromi, and she's as unfazed by it all as Nasa appears to be. She does not look nervous, and such a very kind and gentle lady.
Up by 4 now, just for birdie.
Very speedy, turning a little left. Oh, great putt. Oh, just ran out of speed.
Hiromi was trying to coax it in. It was Hiromi who first took her to practice and take up the game. But a sensible play, Judy. Fairway laid back, laid up to a good spot, put it behind the hole, no risk of spinning it off the green, 2-putt par.
Well, except for the last hole, where she made the great par. She has played all the preceding holes exactly the way you should play them when you have a big lead.
There are some challenging holes upcoming, but we may be playing for second at this point. Minjee Lee looking at birdie Karen.
As you know, I mean, it's not a hard putt to read this one. It's just a question of a little bit downhill. She's going to have to play it a bit out to the right because it will break left. And it's just a question of getting both those parts of the equation correct to see the ball go underground. It's just interesting. I've just been standing here watching Nasa as she walked off the green. She is really focused. I mean, she's still 100% in this game, and she almost looked a little disappointed that she didn't make that putt.
Same kind of putt, just lost speed.
Not been Minjee's day. You would have liked her chances coming in to this final round, tied for the lead, already a winner. Lost a playoff to Lydia Cole back in San Francisco at the end of April. 17.
Austin Ernst tee shot. Another player who's opted to be safe. Yeah, that kind of face says it all, doesn't it?
Lexi Thompson came into the day with a chance. A couple of shots back with a win. Could have moved to #1 in the world. It's not over yet, but this one and a bunch of others are going to have to go in.
Well, even though it's not on the green, this is the easiest putt of the three, sizably. It's uphill slightly, turning just a little to the right at the end. Keep the speed up on this one. I like her chances.
She authored one of the great comebacks we've ever seen in Solheim Cup play against Anna Nordquist. Jerry, you were there step for step last August.
Played the first 4 holes like she'd never held a golf club before, and played the last 14 like there was nobody ever born that could beat her. It was the most amazing turnaround I'd ever seen, and I think all of it was just getting settled down by assistant captain Nancy Lopez, and then getting a little butt kicking by Captain Julie Inkster, and she just turned on. I've never seen anybody play 14 holes of golf like that.
Neither had Anna Nordquist.
They wound up with a half, which was fitting, wasn't it? Well, she's going to need something memorable and heroic if she's going to catch that woman, Nasa Hatooka. Got an eagle putt for Ryan O'Toole at the 18th. For a share of second. A back injury really interrupted her career, Judy.
That is true, but my gosh, is she a hard worker. She puts everything into what she's doing out here.
All right. She would make that putt for birdie. She's got a tie for third. Nasa by 4.
Nasa Hatooka has a 4-shot lead here in the final round of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship, and she's on the tee at the 50.
She wasted no time getting up over this ball. She's feeling quite confident. Another beautiful strike. Good line.
Wow.
Almost all the way back to that hole.
Another sensible shot on a par 3. And another chance for a birdie. Flawless for, well, coming on for 2 days straight. Now, Lexi Thompson.
Lexi going with 9-iron. The breeze that had been lying down most of this back 9 just kicked up a hair right now. It's mostly from the right with a little help in it. And I don't think she has to hit this one too hard at all. It's turning toward the left side of the green, the back portion of the green.
She had the Lexi lean going. She was a little worried it was going to drift too far left, but it's just fine.
She's no Ho Sung Choi, but she does have some body language.
Oh, how about that, chap?
Yes.
I'd give anything to play around with that guy. That's fun to watch.
Can't wait to see him in action again.
That would be a serious combination. Jerry with him and the 2-step move that he did a couple of holes ago. This hole does play about 13 yards downhill, so 155 on the card. The players needing a lot less than that. This is high, drawing, little left of the hole.
One of the best we've seen.
3 birdie chances. This is just a little earlier, Jerry Foltz. He is eligible for the PGA Tour Champions, but he moves like a man in his early 20s.
At the 18th, second shot at the par 5 for Christy Kerr. Begs for it to sit. Here it comes. I'd listen too if I were the ball. Don't want to incur Christie's wrath. 17.
Austin Ernst for a par. Left that first putt short. Does have that one victory. It came in 2014 at the Canberra Portland Classic. She has 3 runner-up finishes on the LPGA Tour, the last of which was in 2017 at the Kia Classic. Looking across the water from the waterfall. And Lexi Thompson for birdie.
This putt's got quite a bit of left to right swing in it. The back edge of this green does tilt back towards the front.
Just a par. Is that Dan Roach down there in the water? Getting his feet wet?
Anything for our terrific pictures, you know.
Takes a bit of imagination, that, doesn't it? Now, Lexi.
And I think what we're seeing from Lexi is just steps in the right direction. It's been a fairly quiet year for her, you know, in terms of Lexi, and statistic-wise, she's not up to the same standard that she was last year. But I think this is good movement for her with the major coming up next week, and quite frankly, I think Kemper Lakes is a course that Lexi could play quite well on.
Why do you say that, Karen?
I just think it's a driver's golf course there. The way that the bunkers kind of are dotted about off the tee shots. A longer player is definitely going to have an advantage into the greens that are a little bit short and well protected. So ball striking is going to be key around that course. It is mentally very intimidating, playing shots from the tee and to the green, and that bit of Lexi's game doesn't faze her one little bit.
Hatooka now for a birdie.
This putt, Tom, has got a bit of a double break to it. A little bit left at first and then back to the right at the hole. Uphill, but she's doing everything that she needs to do. She looks so comfortable. She's in her own little world on this golf course, playing quality shot after quality shot.
Oh, that looks quality all the way again. One step closer to becoming the 5th Rolex first-time winner of 2018. It'd be a big breakthrough win. And she would become the first Japanese player to win on the LPGA Tour since Haru Nomura last year at the Volunteers of America Texas event to 18.
Sandra Gaul's third shot of the par 5.
She's 5 under par for the day.
Come on, be good. Go. Go.
Controls the spin. She'll have a great look at birdie to join Austin Ernst at 14 under. Ernst in the group behind her.
Minjee Lee's birdie putt on the way. Cannot get off that even par number for the day. And when you look at the scoring, the way that the players just tear up this golf course, even par, it's not even going to come close to getting it done. The cut was 2 under par, back-to-back weeks where the cut was 2 under. And they'll make the short walk across the bridge and over to the 16th tee. There's a little loop 16, 17 and 18. The 16th tee very close to that 18th green. Stackhouse on the tee at the 17th. Leaning like it's going towards the hole. Well, could have done with a bit more of a hot golf course, softened by the rain overnight and this morning. Yesterday the forecast was awful going into the day, but it turned out that it was a lovely day on Saturday. This morning we paid the price with the rain that came in, delaying the tee times, which is why our broadcast is a little later than scheduled.
And they make their way up to the 16th tee. Take a look at the past champions of this event. And we've talked about it all week. This is an event that has had an illustrious roster of winners. Sunwon Lee was a Rookie of the Year a couple of years before she won. Jie Shin, Yanni Sen, Ai Miyazato, Inbee Park, Stacy Lewis, Lydia Cole, So Yeon Yu, all number 1 in the world. Na Yeon Choi, a major champion. So Nasa, if she finishes this thing off, will be the first to make this event her first victory. And if she keeps playing like this, it won't be her last by any means.
I have to give you a little nod because you have been predicting this for a couple of weeks already. And so you were right.
Well, you saw how she stood up to the test. It wasn't that she lost Kingsmill. Area beat her, with 2 birdies and 2 playoff holes. And how she is played jumping up and down, Jerry. That's been something we've seen for the last few weeks. With her.
We see Area with the little smile before every shot. Nasa doing the same little, motivating routine of some sort. Get that energy flowing. This one, a pretty big draw off the right side of the fairway. Doesn't want to hit it really more than 240 yards. That's the distance of the bunker.
Yeah, there you go. She's missed 1 fairway, hasn't she? That was one that, go ahead and exhale. You saw her take that deep breath. 1 fairway she missed was 13, where she went in the hazard, and she saved her par anyway. They could take this 16th back a little. Judy, you mentioned you think this course would still be great if they lengthened it just a touch.
Well, to the best of my recollection, it's played about this yardage for a number of years.
Good tempo.
I don't set up golf courses, so I shudder to tell the field staff what they should do because they're pretty good at it. But I think this course could be stretched out a little bit, and I don't think it would change the scoring a great deal.
There aren't a lot of forced carries either, so I think in a situation like that, maybe you would give a little nod to rewarding the power a little more than often is the case. That was a really, really low, almost stinger type shot right up the middle.
I don't know about today because I haven't kept count, but yesterday Lexi only hit 3 drivers.
A long putt for eagle for Christy Kerr. Tied for 13th, 11 under. I hit that so hard, she said. There's the tee shot of Minjee Lee at 16.
This one just slightly down the right side, asking for it to go, and that should be nicely done in the fairway.
3 in the fairway for our final group. Scoot you over to the 18th, which is right through the trees there. Holes adjacent to one another. And Sandra Gaul for birdie to post 14 under and get into a tie for 2nd place.
It's got to swing from the left to the right. And it might be just a little bit of a slow putt. It is not uphill, but it's a little more up than down, at least until it takes that turn to the right. She's got a beautiful rhythmic putting stroke.
Going to left-hand low.
Oh, she didn't hit it.
Sometimes players come from out of nowhere to win, but more often than not, they take this path that we've seen with Sandra Gaul and Nasa Hatooka, right? Good finishes, maybe one bad round to spoil it, and then they win. And maybe, Tom, it's the same trajectory for this woman.
Stackhouse for a birdie.
Could be. Well, I think for Mariah, for NASA, there's a lot of different ways to win the first time. You know, you can run away with it, which is what we're seeing at the moment. It's not over yet. You can come from way behind, which kind of really reduces the pressure, or you can be in the heat of a battle.
Christy Kerr for birdie at the 18th.
Probably one of the, well, absolutely she is one of the top 3 putters in women's golf of all time.
Along with?
You know, just for what I've seen and what I know, I would say along with Nancy Lopez, and I'd probably put a player from a long time ago, Betsy Rawls and Kathy Whitworth, in a tie for 3rd.
And maybe NB Park rounding out the top 5.
Oh,
What
good
do you
heavens,
think?
I forgot NB Park.
She's pretty good.
Yes, she is.
She's number 1 in the world. PGA Tour Champions coverage comes your way when we are done. I know many of you were waiting at the top of the hour. Perhaps you'll see it all from Madison, Wisconsin. Scott McCarron in the mix there at the American Family Insurance Championship. We'll get you out there as soon as we are done. Our final group is playing the 16th hole here. Nasa Hatooka leading it by 5. And here we are at the 16th. And again, got to decide who's going to go here.
And I think that's one of the things that you face when a golf course design and where the LPGA set the tees makes everybody play to the same spot.
You want to be just wind's going to be right to left, and then just swing it a little right. Yeah, exactly.
Got 152 to the hole. Wind moving this from the right. Does play slightly uphill, but not a great deal.
Best to go away.
Just in the last 10 minutes or so, the wind has started to pick back up to the kind of force that it was when these players started their round. It died off a little bit in the middle. I think the signal was for a 7-iron. The ball is above her feet, so she should grip this down just a little bit.
Go hard. Go.
Like Nasa Hatooka, 64-65 for Minjee Lee to open. Just a little bit off today. Missed a couple of putts early. Nasa hasn't missed much, Jerry.
Yeah, you're
No.
good.
7-iron as well for Nasa. I've got her at 151, Lexi at 152. Nonetheless, they're all right there together. Matter of fact, Nasa was just looking over to see if Lexi was making the movements like she might play. She's not. As Karen mentioned, that breeze picking up. It's from the right. Actually feels like there's a fair bit of hurt in it. And judging by the way Minjee's shot ballooned a little into it, I think it is in. Well, she's not playing it too safe. Nice little draw right of the hole.
That'll do.
This is textbook. This is what you do when you've won a dozen times. And she has won some huge events, including major championships in her home country of Japan. This would be her first on the LPGA Tour. And another beauty.
That cart stays there, but just a bit of the cart.
So just inside the guy in the red. Perfect.
Now Lexi.
Should be 8-iron for Lexi. No signal from Kevin yet. Really good gust of breeze picked up right as she was swinging at that one. This a little left of the hole. Needs to go.
Okay.
On the top.
Kind of like 14. She'll have a birdie putt from off the green, but just a bit off. Nasa Hatooka leads it by 5. We take you to the 18th, and one of those chasing is Austin Ernst's second shot. Said she came over it.
Nice. Nice shot.
Imagine if she'd have hit it perfectly. That was
we
great.
should all miss it so badly.
Yeah, brother Drew liked it. She'll have that for eagle. Nasa Hatooka leads it by 5 with a birdie putt coming up.
Experience a new destination. Experience Wisconsin golf at its finest at Thornberry Creek at Oneida.
What about him? I know. Let's do it. These winding roads will lead me home. To you I'll go on.
This summer, add a new member to the family at the Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. Lease the GLC 300 for $429 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Cheaper, please.
Faster, please.
Better, please. Cheaper. Faster. Better. Cheaper. Faster.
The success of your business can be measured by more than just profit, and we'll help you protect it. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella.
This is the beginning of the second half of the 2018 LPGA Tour season. 16 down. This is the first of the second 16. We got the third major championship of the season coming up, and 19-year-old Nasa Hatooka. As many years as she is under par here, and she's got a birdie putt coming up on a week that we're keeping our fingers crossed because of some dire forecasts. Got all the way through yesterday unblemished, had a 90-minute delay this morning, but nothing, it appears, will delay the arrival of Nasa Hatooka as an LPGA Tour winner. Jerry Foltz and Karen Stupples have been following this final group and got Min-Ji Lee putting for birdie.
As the rain starts to come down quite heavily, sending the spectators scattering. This whole location is cut really close to the left side in the bunker, and that bunker will influence how this putt will roll. Should move a bit to the right because of it.
Min-Ji Lee, a winner on her 22nd birthday a month ago in Ann Arbor, Michigan. She lost a playoff to Lydia Cole at the end of April. Nasa Hatooka lost a playoff in May at Kingsmill to Area Chatanagarn, and you got to stay dry. Some nourishment. And now Nasa.
Based on what we've seen today, wouldn't be surprised one bit if this one were to drop. Should be moving just a little left, and I think you referenced the playoff loss at Kingsmill to Area Chatanagarn. That's when I think, well, she proved to a lot of us who doubted that we would see her hold up that well without the track record of doing so on the LPGA thus far on that Sunday, and she was step for step with what most players consider the best player in the game, in Area Jutanagarn. And I think more importantly, Grant and Judy, she proved it to herself that she belonged that 1 week, and she's proven it even more today.
Yeah, I know. I guess when you interviewed her, Jerry, she said this was really going to help her to believe in herself.
And to your point, she played in the final group at the Lotte, shot 78, but then just a few weeks later took Area down to the wire to a second playoff hole. Easy par for NASA. Got an eagle putt at the 18th for Austin Ernst. This to get to 16 under, and just in case, you never know, just to get within 3. She had it coming back to the right. I thought the same thing.
And we've said it a few times, but one more time, it sure is a good feeling to play well on the weekend before a major championship. I love the idea. I wasn't smart enough to do it myself, but I love the idea that your game's in good order and you can go really learn a golf course.
Lexi Thompson at 16 for birdie.
Just outside the left, a little bit back uphill early.
Well, her only birdies today. One was one that she didn't think was going in. She was walking after it to get it, and it dripped in. The others were tap-ins. It's been NASA Hatooka that has made the putts from short, mid, and long range, and that's why NASA leads Lexi and the rest. Austin Ernst posts 15 under. NASA heads to 17 when we come back. Lizette Salas at the 18th for birdie. Ooh. See a leaf went flying across the cup. It has gotten a bit more blustery here. That's 4 straight top 25 finishes for Lizette Salas as we go to 17.
Hatooka on the tee.
No signal from her caddy, but that had to be a 9-iron on a really good line.
This is really, really impressive. There's just no sign of nerves, and when she did make that mistake at the 13th, she bounced right back and managed to save par. And now is in top form and cruising. Folks in the hospitality tents have some music playing and they're sheltered from the rain. What's Lexi gonna do?
Well, I think she was debating between 9 and wedge. She has wedge in her hands.
Always wears blue on Sundays. She's done that since she almost won as a 15-year-old in Evian back in 2010. She figured it was a lucky color for her on Sunday, so she's done pretty well since then, hasn't she? She finished tied for second as a 15-year-old at Evian, 1 shot back of G.A. Shin. She's been around for a while playing high-level golf, but has not ever become the world #1, and it's not going to happen. It doesn't look like today, Jerry.
No, it's not, but I think it's just a matter of time. Now all of a sudden the rain's not falling straight down, a little more sideways from the right. She's going to give this pitching wedge a full treatment.
Like, do you not feel it into? I do feel a swirling in here. I'm just looking up here where we're supposed to be. That's all I'm feeling. I'm happy if you want to have too far, but that's a clock.
This has potential as well.
Whoa.
When you put that much into a shot with a club with a lot of loft, you can almost bet you're going to get that spin. At least with her kind of club head speed, you're going to get that spin.
If she'd won today, she would have crossed the $8 million mark in earnings on the LPGA Tour. So much power.
She comes out of those shoes that she autographs, Judy, a lot.
Minjee hates this one. It's all right, though.
Three groups yet to finish. Mariah Stackhouse has a third shot of this par 5 18th, and you get a look at the undulation of this green here, Judy, with this shot.
Yeah, it has a lot going on, and it slopes big time from back to front.
She's bogey-free today, and she'll have that for a fourth birdie. If she makes it, she'll move into the top three. It would be her best career finish.
Back at the 17th, and Minjee Lee has this for a birdie.
And another one of those hole locations which is just clinging onto the right edge of the green, very close to that bunker. And this one is going to be a bit of a double breaker.
Only player inside the top 26, not under par. We go down to Arya Jutanagan, who is 2 over for the day, tied for 27th.
Mariah Stackhouse for her career best finish.
Yeah, tied for 7th, the best this season.
She's currently tied for 7th, so this month she has her 2 best career finishes. Tied for 7th at ShopRite a couple of weeks ago, another 54-hole event like this one. Back we go to 17.
And Lexi Thompson for a 2.
Pretty similar putt to Minjee Lee's. See if she learned anything. See if she keeps the speed up on one. Been pretty fooled by the pace of the greens today.
If she is anything, she is a tentative putter. She hits a lot of pretty good putts that simply don't get to the hole. And that may have to do with confidence.
That was a long way short. Last win came in Indianapolis, late summer last year. No win for Lexi in 2018 yet. Nasa Hatooka to really cap this off. Going to be a record-breaking score here, even if she finishes at 19 under. But why not get it to 20 under, Jerry?
Yeah, I think she's already capped off the tournament, no question about that. But there was a really, really nice ovation for these three players as they walked up to the green, and she would like to give them one last thing to cheer about because they are so devoted to coming out and supporting this event.
Yes, this is one of the most impressive events that we come to in terms of the community support. Obviously, a lot of folks move here from out of town, part of the Walmart empire and businesses that work with Walmart, and they relish seeing the best players in the world, and they have been treated to a display today from Nasa Hatooka. 5 shots ahead, the largest margin of victory so far in 2018 on the LPGA Tour. 5 shots, that was in B Park at the Bank of Hope Founders Cup in Phoenix, and Nasa could better that mark.
Brittany Altamari trying to finish off a solid week with back-to-back birdies. She moves into a tie for third place. 3 rounds in the 60s on this par 71. Playoff runner-up to Anna Nordquist last year at Evian 17.
Lexi for par. Okay. Well, a chance to make an eagle, add some excitement on the 18th. Not going to be a win for Lexi, we don't think, but still a chance to finish it off in style.
Final group makes its way to the tee at the 18th. Day began with Nasa Hatooka and Minjee Lee tied at 13 under. Lexi Thompson was just a couple of shots back, but it's been Hatooka flawless today, even after hitting the tee shot in the hazard at 13, made par. And she will join Judy, a very august group, players from Japan to win on the LPGA Tour. You played with many of these.
Well, I did. I knew many of these, of course. Ayaka Okamoto was a tremendous player in the 80s on the LPGA Tour. Hiromi Kobayashi, just not too many years ago, retired from playing here. Everybody knows how we miss Ai Miyazato, and the names go on. But the first Japanese player that I remember is Chako Higuchi. She not only was a wonderful player, she was a wonderful ambassador for Japan, and she went on to, I think, actually be the CEO and the head of the Japanese tour. A very
Tour, yeah.
accomplished woman who is now in the World Golf Hall of Fame.
Nasa walking it off. Just one hole left. And as we've said before, any way you win is worth celebrating, but to stare down a couple of proven champions head to head, if you will, all the more impressive.
I've often wondered, and I don't know the answer, if someone has an opinion, please chime in, but I've wondered if the language barrier helps you to get, deep in that concentration, possibly, or if the language barrier in a situation like this makes you a little bit more nervous. I think it helps you to concentrate. You might get a little more nervous when it's time to say thank you, but I think the language barrier for someone who is a good concentrator anyway adds to that moment.
So many players come from Asia to the LPGA Tour, and so much is expected of them. I think you said it very well. The thought of going to a place where you know no one, you don't know any of the cities, never seen these courses before, and you don't speak the language. It is a daunting challenge. Nasa Hatooka has answered the challenge today. She is 2 clear of the tournament record. She plays the par 5 18th. She's driven the ball beautifully. She's done everything beautifully all week.
Wind really blowing now. Might be a storm approaching. Downwind from the left, a good one here, and it could be an iron in her hands for the second.
Said she didn't drive the ball very well last week in Michigan. Not the case this week.
It's hugging the left side.
You got to get lucky in the rough. She might have gotten lucky. That ball really looks like it might be just fine.
Just her second fairway missed today. She drove it well on the 14th last week, the par 3. Then she drove away in a Kia Sorrento after an ace.
That's right.
It's so hard to win out here and out on any tour.
Serve the center of the gun.
And so you don't see players win back-to-back weeks very often. So you tend to look maybe for next week at the Kpmg Women's PGA, players who are in good form, and you wonder about Minjee Lee and Lydia Cole and Lexi Thompson playing so well.
I agree with what Karen said earlier. I like Lexi as an early favorite next week already by the way she's playing, the way she's hitting. And this one's going to be fun because every once in a while, she's Gonna give it everything she has, just like that. It's a little left, though.
Somebody liked it. That was awesome. Ooh.
No, and she did not get the break that Nasa got. Can't see the ball at all, Jerry.
That's not pleasing at all after a frustrating day.
Well, it's been frustrating for Minjee Lee today, Karen, but when you look at this year, the victory, the playoff runner-up to Lydia Cole, it's been a tremendous 2018.
Oh, it really has, and really what set her back today was the two early bogeys. She did try and come back from that, but in general her ball striking has not been really up to par, and a couple of short putts as well missed.
That's kind of the story of the day in a way. All three missed the fairway left. Nasa has the best lie. She's got the best score by 5, headed to her first win. Par 5 18th, Tidapa Suwanapura. Had a fine round yesterday of 64. This for eagle. Oh my. Full shoulder turn. Is that enough club, Judy?
No, it is not. This is a particularly deep green. It's 34 paces from the front to the back, and it's uphill all the way. So that was about 100 feet a putt. Pretty close to it.
Minjee has struggled a bit today. Lexi's a couple under. Arya Jatanagarn has not played her best. Celine Boutier and Tidapa Suwanapura just a shot or two under par. And on a day when Nasa Hatooka had a share of the lead and then has taken it deep, these players who are somewhere around par, even 1 or 2 under, are getting lapped. Has she lost her turn? I don't believe so.
Still a tricky 2-putt from here.
A 25-year-old from Thailand, winner on the Ladies European Tour. This is her 118th career start. 60 year.
Came to 18, 1 under par for the day.
So again, we have one winner, but we have other players trying to build and get some momentum going. A lot of golf to be played.
And people have the international crown at stake, a lot of them. American players are already trying to get Solheim Cup points.
We began the day with talk of Arya Jatanagarn possibly making a run and winning and maybe moving to #1 in the world again. It just hasn't happened. Began the day 3 back. And she's going to shoot over par on a day when the scoring average is more than a stroke under. But the only multiple winner on tour, she won the last major. She'll be one of the players to watch at next week's Kpmg Women's PGA Championship. Inbee Park will take the #1 ranking into the Chicagoland area next week. Nasa Hatooka, her caddy Dana Duro, eyeing their next shot. Celine Boutier from France, just to get to 12 under and a top 10.
We'll be seeing this putt over and over. You have to get it a couple of inches outside the hole on the left to make it.
First full year on the LPGA Tour for Celine. A couple of wins on the Symetra Tour last year. Got her LPGA Tour card. Talked about seeing courses for the first time. It's what Nasa went through last year.
Yeah.
And what you discussed earlier. And look at Arya putting an arm around her saying, nice going. Keep your head up. Remember Arya clapping and applauding and cheering on Hyo-Joo Kim's great shots at the U.S. Women's Open. 3-putt par for Tidapa Suwanapura. getting to play with her countrywoman, Harriet Tonagarn, today. One group left. And there is our leader, Nasa Hatooka. You see they're leading it by 5. Well, we thought the lie was okay, Jerry.
All right, you make the golf swing.
This ball was sitting too nicely to not go for it. And it's just 183 yards to the front, 212 to the hole. She's expecting this to be a bit of a flyer because this is a 6-iron. Maybe a little adrenaline involved as well.
I saw that hop again.
Oh, it's a definite knuckleball. If it carries the bunker, it's good. All right of it.
Stay.
Stay. Might roll back for a ways.
Stay.
She could afford that.
She could make 9 here and win.
I think that's a pretty good play myself.
Yeah. Third shot on a par 5 coming up. Minjee Lee has already laid up.
Lexi toyed with trying to get this to the green out of just an awful lie, but you could, I mean, just trying to gouge a wedge out of there, you could imagine what it's going to be like with a 6 or 7 iron.
Yeah, those other 2 tee shots just sunk to the bottom.
Well, barring holeouts from Lexi or Minjee Lee, Austin Ernst is going to have a solo second-place finish, and Nasa Hatooka is going to get a win. Moment ago at the 18th, third shot from Minjee Lee.
And she has 117 yards off a really steep upslope. Pitching wedge.
Just a little off all day.
Yeah, a little off all day, but you've got to, from the fairway, know there's going to be a little bit of spin on this green.
This will be the first time that she's not shot in the 60s at Pinnacle. Previous showings here, 2015, 16, and 17. Every round has been in the 60s until today. Would have had to hold that one. Now Lexi.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a whole lot really up just now. I do. You think 50?
No, I'm asking.
Okay. I mean, we can land this all the way back there at 22. You know, at peak time. 16, 22. I think it's the other. Can get the control one, right? Yeah. Come on, just feel it. Feel the control.
The back hole location here at this par 5 18th, Jerry, it almost favors the longer shot. Players trying to go for it in 2.
Yeah, but if this is a sand wedge, which I believe was a signal, probably a gap wedge, but if it's a sand wedge, it's going to have too much spin on it to not come all the way back toward the front. 113 off a slight uphill lie. Oh, that was the gap wedge.
It's picking up speed.
So birdie putts for Thompson and Lee from long range. At the defending race to the CME Globe champ, Lexi Thompson. You got a winner just a few weeks ago, Minjee Lee, but it is 19-year-old Nasa Hatooka that has outplayed them and the rest of the field, and she's walking off what's going to be her third shot here. Mom Hiromi first introduced her to the game. She learned at the Tommy Nakajima Academy in Japan. And Tommy Nakajima, a fine player in his own right, said she plays calm on a big stage. And Jerry, has she ever today?
I couldn't possibly find words to describe it better than that.
33 front. 33 front.
Actually, I've thought that Dana looks more nervous than she does.
Been out here a long time, hasn't he?
Well, he's been around professional golf for a long time, for sure.
So we need to carry it to 70 right to the hole. Okay. Yeah, we got 74 back in. 58. Yeah, we got 74 back in, so no problem, okay? Don't try to be too careful with either 50 shot.
Dana's been caddying for roughly 40 years, and I'm sure this feeling never gets old to a caddy. They're in control of so little, but they help so much. Now, just a nice little pitch shot up the hill and enjoy the applause. Or try and get it really close.
Why not? It's a shot of a champion.
Flag clap.
Yes. Wait till she sees it. The feeling for her mother. Her dad, Janichi. Now she's getting a look. Oh, yeah. Another look. Remember, she almost holed it earlier in the round from the fairway. You can't overstate what golf means in Japan. Certainly baseball is huge. Football/soccer, depending on your term for it, is huge. But women's golf is enormously popular, as we've seen Ai Miyazato when she came on tour, Judy. It was like really few things we'd ever seen when I got out here. And now they'll be following NASA for who knows how long.
I brought part of the country with her, I believe. And this will mean a lot to Japanese golf, and I think we now have another player on our radar on the LPGA Tour that is a potential winner, maybe many weeks.
Going to be a good week for Lexi Thompson. Lines up this putt for birdie. NASA will know that she has taken down two of the best in the world.
Well, a disappointing final round for Lexi, no question about it. But if there's one thing she's proven through the years, is it doesn't stick around with her too long. And before she leaves here, she will sign every autograph that somebody wants to sign, even though she's not going to be relishing how she played today.
Well, I think she has to do two things in her game. I think she's going to have to be a little bit more of a consistent putter. I'm not going to delve into what might make that. I also think she's eventually going to have to lighten up on these very deep divots. It's just going to have to, it's going to have to be, or she's going to hurt her hands. But this not controllable spin makes golf really hard, and you can't always figure out how to fly it exactly 15 feet beyond the hole.
She's got the fastball. She needs a change up, right?
Yeah, it's just a tiny bit of refinement.
Minjee Lee for birdie. Karen?
And not an easy birdie putt. I mean, big tier to climb. Got to get the line right as well. And again, a player who will be disappointed with her performance today, but knowing that she's playing well enough to contend next week, and that's all you can go into a major for hoping to do.
That's right. A win, a second, and a third in the last few weeks for Minjee Lee. Even par 71, as we said, the first time she has not shot around in the 60s here at Pinnacle. Now Lexi for par.
She is just so talented and so good that almost any week that she's not in the top three is a little bit of a disappointment.
This to stay in the top three. She'll take it. Or even that, you can see the look of concern on her face. Well, this to finish it off. She's got the tournament record for one more birdie. And a star is born. Nasa Hatooka wins for the first time on the LPGA Tour. And she does it in record-setting fashion. 63.45. That'll do. And she'll get doused. All right, let's update the race to the CME Globe. Nasa Hatooka shoots up into the top 10 area, and Moria still on top. Minji moves up 1. NB drops down 1. Jessica Korda rounds out the top 10. All right, Nasa Hatooka with translator Mitsuki Katahira with Jerry Foltz.
Thank you very much, Grant. Nasa, you played today like you expected to win. Did you expect to win starting the day?
今日は優勝を目標にしてたと思いますけど、どんな一日でしたか？
最後まで自分のプレーを貫けたと思います。
I was focusing on my game for entire 18 today. Yeah, I'm so happy to win.
How much does this do for your confidence looking for the second half of the season?
自信はどのようにつきましたか、この優勝で？
今日は実力者と一緒に回って、その中でやっぱり自分のプレーができたのがすごく大きいなと思います。
I play with Lexi and all the big name playing with them was like really big for me, and then winning this tournament was just so huge for me. Yeah.
Congratulations, very well done.
Thank you.
She takes down a couple of top 10 players, Lexi Thompson and Minji Lee, and she sets a tournament record. What else can you say, Judy?
I could say we've seen a player who is probably going to win again before the year is out if she plays the way she played today, and it was a pleasure to watch.
For our producer, Jack Graham, director John Del Vecchio, our entire team, Tom Abbott, Jerry Foltz, Karen Stupples, Judy Rankin, I'm Grant Boone. Congratulations to Nasa Hatooka, a winner in her homeland in Japan 3 times, and now a winner on the LPGA Tour.